Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be talking about some more information, looking at some potential leaks for some 2018 DLC updates. So you guys know a couple days ago, I actually touched on the fact that it looked like we were not going to be getting a San Fierro or Las Venturas expansion. Our 4chan insider, who had been silent for a long time now, had actually come out and said that that was not happening at all, crushing the dreams of myself and many others that were very much looking forward to something like that either in GTA 5 or as a part of a Grand Theft Auto Online expansion. So today we're going to be talking about a different user. This is not the one that had all the details correct on the Bikers update or the import-export update. And to be very honest with you, I'm not completely sold on this individual. I'm not sure if they're just trying to build off of the success of the first guy that did this, but he has posted some information in the past. So this was on Sunday, May 21st, 2017. So this was, what, a couple days or a couple weeks, I think, even before the gun running update came out. And he said, so this is what I've seen/heard over the last 2 months. One Jeep-like truck packed with off-roading mods. One bog standard SUV strapped with weapons and armor. A large tanker-like truck, not necessarily similar to the one in Mad Max Fury Road, but still in the same vein, also overpowered as well. A helicopter armed with attached guns, not an Apache or a Hunter. An APC, larger and beefier than the one in Gay Tony. Concept art for a rudimentary buggy-like truck with various cosmetic upgrades illustrated next to it. Concept art for a lot of weapons, a rifle and another shotgun, both modern looking. Concept art for some large and incredibly filthy warehouse. No idea if it's a bunker or not, but it was presented as a property that would cost around $2 million and that would tie into the gun running work. The actual gun running work was similar to be CEO work, since it revolves around stealing crates from militias and selling them on the black market. But the actual buying and selling jobs were described and completed mini heists, their words, not mine, that would take some time and teamwork to be fully potentialized. And then combined price of everything would be somewhere between 50 million and 100 million as a response to the hacker bucks spree. And the final thing he says, keep in mind that some of this stuff might inevitably change before the update is out, and some of it might be pushed to later updates. Rockstar does this every now and then when they overproduce content. For example, the Hydra was supposed to be released back during the flight school, but they delayed it all the way to the heist. But the overall meat of this update should have most of it included. So that was a couple weeks before the gun running DLC released. So at that point in time, we wouldn't have had any of that information. And you guys can be the judge on if you think any of that is correct. Obviously, the APC is correct. The Jeep-like truck packed with off-roading mods. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be the Canis Camacho or if that's supposed to be another vehicle that's come out. Like I said, some of this might be true. Some of it might have no merit at all. So we definitely want to take this with a grain of salt when what we're about to look at next. But you needed to know that background information before we could move on to what we're going to take a look at now. So this user posted for the first time in quite a while yesterday. The first thing they said was, expect more retro cars and futuristic nonsense. It's actually selling really well, independently of how much everyone complains about it. Okay, so if that's true, we are expecting more retro cars. That's a lot of what we're getting in this drip feed, though, in the Doomsday Heist. I mean, mostly all the cars that we have left are either sports cars, sports classics, muscle, or off-road. I would definitely say that fits into like the retro hipster category. But he also says expect more retro cars. So if you're a fan of sort of the vehicles we've been getting in more retro styles, then that's obviously good news for you. And same with the futuristic stuff. So I would imagine that means more maybe references from pop culture, likely more rocket-based vehicles as well. And that is funny. He mentions it's selling really well despite how much everyone complains about it. That is true. A lot of people seem to complain about the futuristic rocket stuff, but it's really the first thing that people end up going to and buying. So I guess it is kind of a double-edged sword there. So more retro cars, more futuristic nonsense. His words will be coming soon. Someone asked him a question, what about actual content as far as mission/heist or whatever goes? And he said, expect more warehouse-like stuff based around getting/paywalling for supplies and either selling them or using them to execute missions. Rockstar is actually sort of proud of how these are working out. This is just my speculation on the part, but submarine and aircraft carriers are probably not outlandish for them at this point. Okay, so very interesting. And this is not exactly what I was excited to hear. Again, if indeed this is true, and the big key here is if, I want Rockstar to move away from the warehouse stuff where you go from a certain point, you get the supplies, and you bring it back to a certain point. That to me is getting really old, and I'm not a huge fan of it. However, what I do think would be pretty cool is the second part of that statement regarding submarines and the aircraft carriers. That to me would be pretty neat. Now, unfortunately, that's just his speculation, but maybe he knows something that we don't. Aircraft carriers and submarines, that actually sounds pretty awesome. But like I said, I'm not a fan of like the paywall supply running style missions that Rockstar have been doing over Smuggler's Run and gun running and stuff like that. Just the continuation of that, in my opinion, has been dragged out a little bit too long. He follows up by saying, by the way, my position hasn't changed in the past year after writing all these posts. I'm still not directly involved with Rockstar and therefore have no idea about the actual content of these updates other than a vague notion of what's currently working in their business model. Sadly, and that post that I showed earlier was the only occasion where I actually got to see screenshots and concept art. So very interesting stuff right here. How does this individual know what's going on if they're not directly involved with Rockstar? They must have a source somewhere on the inside or someone they very much trust that probably still works at Rockstar, something along those lines. Now, the final thing he shares with us as I'm making this video was him just responding to a post that had this photo right here. Now, this is from the latest Blade Runner movie, Blade Runner 2049. In case you don't know who that is Officer K, and that is his very futuristic LAPD squad car. So it's a three-wheeled vehicle. It also has the ability to fly. It has a bunch of futuristic tech on there. And in case you've never seen Blade Runner 2049, it takes place in 2049. It's very futuristic in terms of the weapons and the technology and the vehicles. And the only thing he says to that is soon. So maybe we are going to be getting a Blade Runner-inspired vehicle or Blade Runner-inspired outfit or weaponry or technology in some way, shape, or form. That'd be pretty cool. It was one of the better movies we had in 2017. I was a big fan of it, so I think that that content would work pretty well in Grand Theft Auto Online, especially given how we have DeLoreans and stuff like that. It really wouldn't be out of the realm of like crazy wackiness. So let's quickly recap. Again, this is all speculation at this point, but this is coming from a source that apparently has gotten some things right in the past and looks to have an inside source at Rockstar. So they said, expect more retro cars and futuristic nonsense. Some of that futuristic nonsense they pointed to was maybe a theme or hint or clue for the Blade Runner 2049 movie that came out in 2017. They also said expect more warehouse-like stuff with potential paywalls for supplies. So maybe that means that there's going to be more research or something like that. And then his personal speculation is there could be submarines and aircraft carriers involved, which honestly would be pretty cool. I would be a big fan of that, even if it did tie into one of the business models or business things they're trying to do. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this potential 2018 DLC leak. Do you think, number one, it's true, or do you think it's fake? And then number two, what do you think of the actual content itself? Are you excited for retro vehicles? What do you think about the possible Blade Runner 2049 reference? Like I said, let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comment section down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.